Morning everybody. Team Sky. What does the announcement of the withdrawal of Sky sponsorship at the end of 2019 mean for Team Sky itself and professional cycling? Stick around and you'll find out. So, on the day that Theresa May faces a vote of no confidence from the Conservative MPs and wins, Team Sky released the news that Sky are going to cease sponsoring them from the end of 2019. Now, first of all, is this a surprise? Well, no, it's not a surprise to me, and I doubt if it's a surprise to many of you. So why is it not a surprise? Well, first of all, Sky has been sponsoring Team Sky for 10 years. Or will have done by the end of 2019. That is a long time for a sponsor to remain within professional cycling. Now, I know there are sponsors who've been around for longer. I think Cofidis have been around for longer. Quickstep have been around for longer, although they're stepping back. I think Lotto in Belgium have been around for longer. So it's not unknown for a sponsor to hang around for a long time, but it is quite unusual. Secondly, the takeover battle between Comcast and 21st Century Fox for the control of Sky Television was obviously going to have some kind of fallout. It is widely reported that the key mover behind Sky's sponsorship of Team Sky is James Murdoch, son of Rupert Murdoch. And James Murdoch was dismissed, or did he say he stepped down from managing director of Sky when it was taken over by Comcast. So the leading light, the leading mover and shaker behind Sky sponsorship of Team Sky has disappeared, and the whole company has changed. Thirdly, if you speak to anybody, if you speak to a lot of people in cycling and say, what do you think about Sky? They'll say, well, you know, they always dominate the Tour de France. They don't win many classics. Chris Froome, blah, blah, blah. Geraint Thomas, blah, blah, blah. Now, if I was Sky Television, I might be thinking, hang on a minute. We sponsored this bloody cycling team, so lots more people would sign up to Sky Television. And now, the only thing that people think about is Dave Brailsford and his fucking Tour de France wins. So you've got to think about, what is sponsorship about? Sponsorship is about getting your name out there and shifting product. And I imagine that Sky, not Team Sky, but Sky Television, now under control of Comcast, have decided that this sponsorship has run its course. They've got as many Sky dishes into as many Sky homes as they're likely to get on the back of Tour de France wins. So move on, do something else. The other thing we cannot deny is the bad publicity that has surrounded Team Sky in the last couple of years. Now, there's always been a certain amount of rumbling, a certain amount of rumour, and a certain amount of dislike of Team Sky. And that was largely because they won so much and people don't like them winning so much, particularly the French and David Walsh of the Sunday Times. But it wasn't just that people didn't like them winning so much. It was that the bad publicity of the last couple of years has rather taken hold, and it has really tarnished the image. Now, I've spoken about this before in a couple of videos. There was Bradley Wiggins and the famous Jiffy bag, which he now says contained a dildo for Dave Brailsford. Well, what do you know? Dave Brailsford said it contained Flumisil. Dr. Freeman, the man who probably knows what it contained, ain't saying, and he ain't saying nothing to nobody. And then there was the whole issue around Chris Froome and his failed test for salbutamol in the Vuelta a España, which he won, and then Sky's unquestioning financial ability and muscle to throw lawyers and documents and evidence at the WADA system, was it the WADA system or whichever WADA system it was, and to get his test result overturned. Now, I'm not one to question Froome's probity. I believe in Froome. I've said in videos before that I believe in Froome. But this was a situation that was always going to leave a bad taste in the mouth. And I remember saying in one of my previous videos that It was bad for Froome if he lost, and it was bad for Froome if he won. and it's been bad for Sky because it leaves a nasty taste. And if you're a sponsor, you don't want people to have a nasty feeling about your product. So when you combine all of those things, the ending of Sky sponsorship is not a surprise. The timing of it, in that they have given 1 year's notice, and as Brailsford certainly seemed to have believed that the sponsorship was ongoing, although it shouldn't have been from the reasons that I've just suggested, i.e. the ending of the sponsorship should not have come as a surprise to him. It still seems to have come as a surprise to him and the rest of the team. So the question is, what happens from here? Well, as many people have pointed out, there aren't that many companies that have got the kind of money or the desire to put that kind of money behind a cycling team. There are rumours around how much Sky's budget is. I saw something that said in Companies House the total contribution by Sky and 21st Century Fox in 2017, I think, was £25.5 million. Now that is a hell of a lot of money within professional cycling. So what is possibly going to happen is that Team Sky find another sponsor, but they don't have as much money as Sky Television, or Team Sky, in the face or in the form of Dale Brailsford, decide that they're going to bring it to an end. It's run its course. They had a good 10 years. They won everything. They set out what they wanted to do, and they're going to leave on a high. And that is going to leave a lot of top riders, a lot of top DSs, a lot of top soigneurs, a lot of top designers of interiors of coaches looking for some work. And the vast majority of them will find a job. Chris Froome, I suspect, might retire. Geraint Thomas will continue. Some of the others will retire. And some other team will come in and snap up Egan Bernal and build a tour-winning team around him. I suppose it's possible that Team Sky end up with a new sponsor with a lot less money and they decide to step down to Pro Conti or Continental level. I can't see that happening. You don't spend 10 years or 7 or 8 years at the top and then decide you want to be in the second division. No, I can't see that happening. So this is probably the end of an era, and what we will see in 2019, we may see Sky, Team Sky, go out on a high and win everything, and Geraint Thomas or Chris Froome win the Tour again. And we may see them dominating the whole of cycling sport, as they have more or less, they haven't entirely, but as they more or less dominated over the last few years. But on the other hand, we may see that the uncertainty, the worry, the concern affects their form, affects the way they ride, and they don't win everything, and everything crumbles. And everyone says, well, not everyone, but a lot of the naysayers and the people who hated Sky all along will say, I see, told you so, told you so. I, for one, will be sorry to see Team Sky leave. I think what they have done for British cycling, for British sport, for British participation in the Tour de France and the other great races, what they have done to bring cycling to a wider audience, what they have done to make us feel proud. That makes me sound like a Brexiter. I'm not. But what Froome has done, and okay, I know people say he's not really British, but, you know, get lost. He is. What they have done in terms of British cycling is absolutely phenomenal, and we could never and should never take that away from them. I, for one, will miss them. I will miss Sky's I will miss Froome's metronomic performances at press conferences. I will miss the way they dominate the front of the peloton. I will miss the combative way that Brailsford answers some questions but not the others. I'll miss an awful lot about Team Sky, and cycling is going to miss Team Sky. So let us hope they find a new sponsor that can put in the same amount of money. But if they don't, bye-bye, Team Sky. It's been wonderful. See you next time.